Hey everyone, I'm Tim.
And I'm the only Luddite in the OSINT world, Chris.
And welcome to the OSINT Output. So it's been a month. That's the last time we recorded one of these.
I know, man.
I've been traveling, and plus other things kept popping up in both of our lives. But with our news story today, I'm going to talk about something that has been ongoing for a while now that I've been following. I won't say really, really closely because I haven't written anything on it. I was going to, but it's about a hacking group called the Scattered Lapsus Hunters. We've actually talked about them on previous episodes, but this is
That's a callback to, I think, our ransomware episode.
yeah, that was like 2 or 3 episodes ago when we kind of talked about that. But this one this hacking group is a combination of hacking groups, and I'm pretty sure, based on where I recognize these usernames from, they all probably got their start on breach forums. So if you guys aren't familiar with breach forums, we've talked about it in the past, but it's a place for you to go if you want to and download compromised link credentials. It's been well known for a while now, ever since raid forums were shut down in 2022. There have been different versions of breach forums that have steadily popped up, and they have a ClearNet link and an Onion link. But the reason why I'm talking about them was they had a very large hack that occurred that impacted Salesforce, and it didn't directly impact Salesforce's software. It was a third-party integration or a different integration that was a part of their platform. And if you're not familiar with Salesforce, a lot of companies use this for marketing and sales leads. So think of it as like a database for all the individuals you have talked to, currently talking to, or will talk to generate leads for your business. So this doesn't just include, a secretary at a company or like a mom who has a home business. We're talking CEOs, people making millions of dollars a year, even government officials. Their personal contact information was a part of these databases for Salesforce.
I think if you were trying to typecast what an organization is doing, try to figure out what markets they're getting into, and then you can beat their strategy.
Yeah. And having access to all those emails as well opens up different opportunities for social engineering and phishing attempts. But just a little quick roll up of what they initially did was they just social engineered.
They called them up.
Yeah,
They said, "Hey,
Salesforce
man.
employees.
Hey, I'm from IT, and I need you to download this app to make sure it works."
Doesn't have to be from IT. It could be like they can masquerade as their boss, especially if they get PBX access inside
Yep.
public bank exchange, so they can just call from inside the corporation itself. That's a great way to social engineer. And then they got access to a lot of different companies, primarily from what I've read, airline companies. Those were heavily hit.
Yep.
Qantas, based in Australia, was the most recent
Some
one.
shoe companies.
Yep. Google, Cisco, huge customers for governments.
Yeah, I was reading through the list, and it kept going and going and going, and I was just like, what?
And
they have everything.
And this just goes to show, like, as much as you can do on the technical side of preventing access to systems, the human being, in my opinion, is always going to be the most obvious vulnerability in every organization. So they started up a Telegram in August, and they started releasing information about what they were hacking. And they actually released ransomware as well that other people could use for it. And then the government's got involved. They were like, hey, just so you know, we finally figured out who this was, even though they've had a Telegram channel for a while.
Yeah, they've been talking about it.
Yeah. And now recently, it was at the end of October, they published a, hey, we're retiring memo on their Telegram channel saying we're done. But there still have been threat researchers that have been following all of these actors, each individual group, and members of those groups associated with those handles. They said we're still seeing TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures, IOCs, indicators of compromise from these actors still. So even though as I guess a whole group, they're still breaking out into their individual cells and affiliate groups, which is very common.
Yes. Then they're going to create other Lapis groups.
Other ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cells.
So
Take their unique skill set that they learn together and spread it about.
yeah. And scattered lapis is a primary combination of 3 groups. Scattered spider, which I was tracking for.
Dude, those guys have
They've
been working hard. Like the past 2 years, they've been working hard.
The UK government claimed to have arrested 4 members of their group. I think it was 4, if I'm not mistaken, in a release by NCA earlier this year. And then Lapis and Shiny Hunters. Shiny Hunters really got their start on breach forums. They were posting consistent messages on there. They worked with Intel Broker, who I think was actually finally identified and arrested. So, but he's been identified and arrested 3 times now in various countries around the globe. So,
Everyone's got them.
yeah, who knows? But DOJ really thinks they got him this time. Department of Justice in the United States. But definitely a good little story to follow if you guys want to check it out. And the reason why I bring it up is
Well, they were asking for money too, right?
They hit them up and said, if you don't pay it by this date, we're going to release all of this data, which is very, very common for all these hacking groups.
I like for the data that they stole from different companies, they specifically pinpointed the vulnerability that they used and the date and time that they did it. Like, just to extra prove that, yeah, we got your stuff.
I did read also that in their Telegram message saying they're retiring, that some of them were going to focus on actual cybersecurity careers instead of being on the black hat side. They're going to switch and go to the white hat side.
Yeah, those are people you want on your side.
Yeah. Hey, we know how to do this. Let's go help out the people that really, really need it. And there have been other groups in the past. One of them that comes to mind is a Conti ransomware group. They actually posted, or Clop, it was either Conti or Clop. They posted on their main page, hey, if you want information about how we accessed your systems, we'll be more than happy to give it to you for money.
Yes, for monies.
If you pay us, we will tell you how we did it.
Yeah. Also pay us to keep it quiet.
Yeah. Which opens up for more extortion attempts. So it's my professional opinion that if you're ever impacted by ransomware, do everything you can to not pay the ransom to get your data back. Have redundant backups, and cloud works too. So cloud services are really good for that if you want to have backups there. But the reason why I bring up this hack is because of the amount of credentials that were released. It's especially useful for open source intelligence because if somebody says, hey, I think my information's been compromised, I think somebody may be out there masquerading as me, you can check all these dumps to see if their information has been compromised. So it's good for due diligence, checking out, senior people you may want to employ to see if the information is currently being compromised. If you have a VIP that you need to protect, you can go out there and check out these databases. So Have I Been Pwned is a really good website for everyone to check out. Troy Hunt maintains that. And then additionally, there are services that companies provide to check these leaked websites. So Proton offers a service. That's what me and Chris use. We love Proton email.
Oh, yeah.
And then Google Chrome has a built-in detector for your passwords and usernames if they've been compromised. To check that out. Free tool, but it does work. Every browser kind of has a built-in now. But always monitor your identity and see if it's ever been linked on the interwebs, not just the dark web, but the interwebs in general. All right, Christopher.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about our topic this week,
and that is geolocation.
Finding stuff.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. And it's more than I spy, right? You don't just describe a color and then say it's this color.
It depends on what you're looking at from an imagery perspective, because most of those don't come in color.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Are you still living in the 40s? Almost every picture I look at comes in color now.
Well, you're talking about pictures. I'm talking about imagery.
Oh yeah, that's right. Your background as a nerdy imagery analyst. That's true. So talk about satellite overhead. collection here for a second.
All
Tell
right.
me more about it. Where would
Well,
we go to get that stuff?
Commercially, I mean, Google Earth has a decently updated stuff. Any of your major mapping sites are probably sharing Esri data of some sort, and then a few other commercial ones.
Esri data? Why you
Yeah.
gotta get all nerdy like that? Why you gotta bring up the past and traumatize everyone on this podcast that are
No,
listening?
that's good stuff, man.
Esri data. Whenever I hear Esri, I automatically equate it to ArcGIS every single time.
Well, yeah, they had
They
a
made that
big
software.
player in that space,
Yeah.
but they also map data, geolocation stuff. They do all that stuff.
Maxar Technologies as well. They used to have a commercially available subscription, but not anymore. I think they exclusively sell to governments now. But Maxar has it. Did they put satellites in space, or they put their software and hardware on satellites to go into space?
I'm unsure as to how they did it.
But Maxar is a great group to follow. I was on their Twitter profile every single day when the initial invasion of Ukraine happened, because they were consistently posting updated imagery from 1 week to the next of movements across the border where they were staging
Flots and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, front line of troops. That was excellent because I could see like, hey, they were at this air base. It was really well built up. They had temporary tents. And then the next week, all that stuff was gone, and we could see track. It was in the snow too. You could see like the tracks leaving in the snow. So satellite overhead imagery is great. And while we're on that, with satellite overhead imagery, are there any tools to like trace over time, like any websites we can use to see imagery from one date to the next that are available to a lot of people? Because the ones that I used to use, I don't have anymore.
I mean, I haven't really needed to use that recently in the OSINT world.
But it's really, really useful if you get access to historical satellite imagery so that you can compare over time how it changed.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for.
It does. It absolutely does.
If you're looking for an underground bunker and you can find a history of imagery of a house being built, you can see if it's there.
Coordinates. This is something that I rarely ever do get into. I used to get requests for this all the time. They say, hey, we have a latitude, longitude, we have these specific coordinates. Can you tell us what's there? Sometimes certain geolocation databases can't take those, but getting coordinates for a location can be tricky because sometimes it doesn't always pop up. A really good trick for anything on Google Earth, which is going to, or Google Maps is what I primarily use now. Google Earth, their software hasn't, I don't even know if they updated that heavily anymore or they transitioned completely to a web interface.
Yeah, it's mostly web browsers now.
But a really good tip for Google Maps is you can go anywhere on the map and double click it, and it will give you the latitude, longitude for exactly where you clicked on the map.
What does latitude measure, man?
Latitude measures the distance between my hand to your face.
It's north-south of the equator.
And then longitude measures
east-west of the prime meridian.
Oh, the prime meridian. And that's where it starts at Greenwich Mean Time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And then it goes all the way around the globe to the other side. But you know better than that. So cloud cover affects imagery
tremendously.
Right? So
most imagery?
What can we do to try to find better imagery if there's clouds in the area? So like we know there's clouds overhead. What can we do to find better imagery if there's something overhead that we want to look at that time?
You can look for, if you have a specific area, you can, just look to see if there's photos around that time. You can look for a different type of imagery. So it may not just be like a picture. There's, radar. So you could look for that because clouds don't affect that.
Oh, LiDAR too?
Yeah.
I've seen LiDAR work really, really well for penetrating that.
But those are a little bit harder to come by commercially just because a lot of people don't read out SAR.
Yeah, it's really difficult because when it returns, there has to be a computer who translates all this imagery information that isn't an image into an image for a human being to read.
It's one of my favorite things.
And it's extremely difficult.
It's my favorite.
LiDAR, light imaging detection and ranging. Very similar to radar, which is its own word, but LiDAR is really, really useful now because it'll actually go through some camouflage as well and penetrate through trees, which radar has sometimes a difficult time doing as well.
Depending on the deflection method.
Yep. And now, continuing on Google Maps, Chris mentioned that we can find photos in a specific area. So where do those photos come from? That we can find?
Users. Or users, or I mean, they have the little street view stuff or walking path stuff, but really you want to find that stuff from users.
Yeah, so users upload these photos, and that's one of my favorite things to do is stalk these individuals, especially near locations that could be sensitive. One of my favorite users that I looked at was, I was working on this project one time, and it was for tracking threats to government facilities, not just here in the United States, but all around the globe in general. And so I just went to a government facility. So I went to NSA in Maryland, and I clicked on it, and of course users, and this is one of the greatest things I love about any mapping application that requires or has the ability for users to log in and post reviews. There were just hundreds of reviews for NSA in Maryland. You know, some of them were really funny, like, hey, Big Brother is here, or like, hey, do you wonder where your tax money's going? These guys. But this one guy posted the front gate, literally took images all the way down the sides. I mean, it was like he was casing the outside of this joint. And I said, these images could be useful for any other service, right? So I clicked on his profile. This dude had traveled around, or stated he had traveled around the entire United States and was looking at all these government facilities and was taking images. And I was like, well, this is a direct threat to national security because this dude is going here, taking photos, posting them for
that's
review.
I mean, he's on a list.
Yeah,
at this point,
he is now for sure. And then I was like, well, has he impacted anywhere else? This dude went to China as well and was uploading photos from there.
Jeez.
Dude went to Russia. He went to Venezuela. He had been all around the globe. And for me, I thought that was kind of odd. So I think this is just my assessment. I think that dude was paying people and then uploading it via his own profile and saying he was there.
Oh, so you don't think he traveled?
To travel to Russia, China, U.S., Venezuela, and go like, look at all these military installations.
Julian Assange did it.
Yeah, and look where he's at. Yeah. I don't know if I could see all of those being there. Like him going to each one of those locations. It's not getting held up at an airport somewhere and be like, so I see you posted pictures of our nuclear facility in Western.
You don't post them till you come back home. You don't post them in country, especially not in China. Definitely not in Russia.
That dude took some time.
Yeah. You post those things at home.
So, one of the other things that you run into is that most of this content has to be approved by moderators for these platforms, but there's a software or a website that I use all the time, and it's OpenStreetMap.
Oh, dude, that's. I mean, if you type in OSINT geolocation, OSM will pop up on your feed immediately.
OpenStreetMap is a service that is free for anyone to go to and use, and also contribute to as well. And one of the things I love about it is you can use it as a base layer for your website. So let's say that you have a new piece of software that you're making and you depend on overlays to make it work effectively.
Yep.
You can link directly to the API for OpenStreetMap and you can start depicting images on there. And I just went to it right now so I could check it out. I'm going to go to where we're located at, which is in Charlottesville.
OpenStreetMap is definitely built with the end user in mind, because you can modify and do whatever you need to. You can get a local instance of this stuff and play around with it. It's fantastic, and it's all free, which is, you don't need no logins. They don't track your data, any of that stuff, man.
For the earthquake in Haiti in 2012, OpenStreetMap was really, really useful for them because they worked proactively with the NGOs that were trying to support that effort and get people, help or get removed that needed to be removed because there were
evacuated.
Yeah,
not removed. That is the wrong word.
Yeah, evacuated. Get them help. And they were partnering with them to try to map out all these locations because prior to 2012, Haiti didn't have a sophisticated, I guess, any database for any GIS application, geographic information system for any GIS application. And after that,
You really got to
OpenStreetMap-
pronounce that word correctly. Yes.
GIS. It's not GIS, and it's not the GIF or GIF,
Yeah.
but OpenStreetMap. Anybody can go here and contribute, and it's great because it has all these different layers that you can toggle on and off. So it'll list hospitals, it'll list parking structures, it'll list parks, government installations, religious facilities. So if you're ever in need of that, especially if you're tracking conflicts anywhere in the globe, they're really, really good. When I say they, people that are active contributors to OpenStreetMap, adding that information in so you could maybe track a war crime if it happens.
If is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that statement.
So there's another application that I just recently got introduced to in a training that I completed called GeoNames. And what you can do is you can go, it's geonames.org. You can go to this website.
I've never used this one.
But yeah, geonames.org. You can go here and you just zoom into an area and you tell it what you want to search for.
Like if you were to zoom into Baghdad and ask it for mosques,
you can search and it'll pull those up because all this, I forget where their data directly comes from, but that people can upload to it and pull information down. But definitely check out their help manual. They have an API you can link to download information as well. They probably have a rate limit that you'll probably hit every single day if you're trying to download, let's say, every single location they have. But I have in the past and seen people have no problem pulling in like 80, 100, 120 locations, exporting them as a KML, keyhole markup language that you can import into Google Earth, so you can have layers on top of that as well.
I know this isn't true, but it feels like they're just using the yellow pages as their baseline.
They probably get it from there as well.
I don't even think. Well, yeah, it doesn't really exist anymore, but that's what they're doing.
No, yellow pages exist. They're still there.
The website.
Yeah, but you can still get those phone books. They're still available.
All right, send me one.
I've got them delivered to me before. You have to opt into it. You can't just be like, hey, like you got the phone book, send it to me. Like you have to opt into that stuff now.
How am I gonna go through and find random businesses to prank call without the yellow pages? Is your refrigerator running?
Last name Winner, first name IC.
Yeah.
So
not that I ever did that as a kid.
No, prank calling anyone. Never done that. Any of that. And then now that we know where locations are at, one of the things that you'll constantly get asked as OSINT practitioners is they want to verify if something did or did not happen and at what time it happened. So
and place.
Yes. Yeah, if it was actually there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, they said they went over this boundary on this day.
Yeah.
Can you confirm that happened?
Hey, these tanks are rolling through downtown Cairo. Confirm it. And you're like, no, that's just Tiananmen Square juxtaposed, like overlaid on top of Cairo.
Oh yeah, that was the anniversary was recent for that. Wasn't yesterday for Tiananmen Square?
Yes.
So, and again, if you're in China, never happened.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like when I see photos of that, it's like John Cena. Like you don't see anyone else in that photo. So,
have you ever seen? So John Cena did, I think it was like a commercial or something like that, where he's gonna punch like one of those boxing bags or whatever that measures the pressure or the force that you see all the time, and he gets up and he just stomps in front of it, and then the crowd is like, oh, he's like, hold on, I got this guy. And he just stomps in front of it again. He goes, look, I haven't punched anything in 20 years.
That's right. That's good. Yeah.
So he just gives that good wrestling punch.
Good little wrestling joke there. That's a wrestling punchline right there. Sorry, guys. He's referencing, for those who don't watch wrestling, whenever they punch someone, they always stamp their foot on the ring, so it sounds like a really hard hit, even though they're just lightly tapping their opponent. So, but wrestling, it's entertaining. For sure. But going back to how we confirm or deny if something actually happened, one of my favorite services to always use is reverse image search.
Oh yeah, that's usually it. It shouldn't, like, as a seasoned OSINT analyst, it shouldn't be the first thing that I go to, but frequently I go to that, especially depending on what my time crunch is.
It's really simple too on computers nowadays because all you have to do is right click, copy, and then paste,
Yeah.
and then you're instantly conducting an image investigation, trying to find out where it was posted, if it was posted, and where it came from. So, what are some services there, Chris, that we can use for your favorite ones?
It's 10i. Google has a good one. Yandex has really done well. And Bing gives you a different substack than what Google gives you and presents it differently. So sometimes their algorithm wins.
Yeah, they will index information differently than Google does. But breaking those down, so 10i is a very specific search engine. It wants to find the exact image that you uploaded, and it even looks at the metadata for the
Yes.
image as
Yeah.
well.
But
So
when it hits, and it gives you date and time of first publication, and then you can follow those breadcrumbs a different
only
way.
in its database. That's one thing that I do want to stress, and Chris would stress too, is whenever you go to search in a database, you can only find the information that they've
That's
uploaded in that database.
yes,
That doesn't mean that's the first ever time that information's ever been mentioned.
correct.
So just because it says, hey, this image was first recognized on this website in 2011, doesn't mean it was first on the internet available in 2011. Then talking about search engine image, reverse image searches, Google, Bing,
Yeah.
Yandex, Baidu, all of those are based on relevancy of the image. So they'll actually break down individual components of an image. So if they detect a human or a dog or a location, they'll try to search for other things that are relevant to that photo or that are very similar to it.
Yeah, they search element by element, whereas 10i looks for exact image matches.
And it will search metadata on the photo as well. So if you do need, and if you're not familiar with metadata or haven't looked at it in a while, this is just data about data. So whenever you go and look at a file on a computer, whenever you upload something, there's pieces of information that have been embedded in that file as well. So if there's an author that's been included, a date, time when it was created, even for a lot of images called, and on there it's EXIF data, a lot of images will include the type of camera that was used to
The
take it.
lens.
Yeah, if there was any software that was used to edit the photo,
Yeah.
like Adobe, it'll be on there as well. So to look into that. Now, when it comes to searching locations, I will say a lot of reverse image searches work really, really well for that, even if it's not an exact match. But people are one of the things that we search a lot nowadays, especially
Yes.
with the advent of AI. So one of the ones that's been really useful for me is PimEyes, PIMEYES.
Mm-hmm.
PimEyes, it does use AI to help out, but it's a really good facial search engine if you have a profile picture of somebody. So if you have a picture of someone and they're standing up in front of a group of other people, the best thing to do if you want to search for a social media profile of them is to crop out their face and search it that way. And PimEyes is really, really good for that. Another one is surprisingly, well, it depends on your view of them, but Yandex has a surprisingly good facial recognition search engine.
Yandex will get you to a lot of pieces of information that you wouldn't expect.
Dude, Yandex don't give a crap. So there are for every single, well, not every single, but a lot of websites they have rules for search engines on how search engines can index content on those websites, and it's in the robots.txt file. So you can set this up yourself if you, and it's available for any website creation engine, or if you want to edit it yourself in the HTML, it's just a different directory that the search engine knows to look for. It's /robots.txt, and it's just a text file, and it tells the indexer, hey, don't index this
Tells the
subdirectory.
spiders.
Yeah, the spiders, right? Don't index the subdirectory, or all of this is okay, but stay away from this, right? Well, in my opinion, looking at the robots.txt file and what Yandex and Google indexes, Google typically follows that file.
For the most part, yeah.
And then Yandex does not.
Yeah, it doesn't care.
Does not at all.
Yeah.
So
Like usually if you're looking at that, one of the things it'll say don't index is user admin login page or some, stuff like that, because it takes you directly to a login that's outside of the parameters of whatever the website is for.
Another one that they always do are different directories for different languages, because every single subdirectory that has a different language on it has the exact same content as it is in another language. English, of course, is the predominant language spoken on the internet and around the globe. I think more than 30% of the world speak it, and then there are lesser values for a lot of the other bigger languages,
Yeah.
right? Like Arabic and Chinese, but they will typically index the English variant of the language and then not index the other ones.
Yeah.
So they typically say, hey, don't index like Arabic or Spanish, and that's no disrespect to any of those languages. It's just English is the most spoken on the internet at this time, unless, some other countries decide to do some stuff to the human race.
Wow.
And then that changes.
Fair enough.
Going on to where photos were taken, another resource that you guys can use, and it's aptly named, not promptly named, aptly named, is whereisthisphoto.com. You can go to that website and upload a photo, and it will analyze the photo and give you a reasonable, based on best guess, where it's located at.
That's also AI based too, right?
Yeah. It uses AI. They specifically says our photo location finder uses advanced AI image geolocation and reverse photo location search to identify GPS coordinates from pictures. So reverse photo location, I'm guessing they reach out to an API search engine like Google or Bing.
Yep.
And then they also have AI. When it says artificial intelligence, it may not be there's this misnomer now in a lot of OSINT circles that AI automatically equates to an LLM trying to help you out. AI, artificial intelligence, is a very large field in data science that encompasses large language models and text generation services for conversations. This one could just simply be like, I recognize a monument. I recognize a building. I recognize a sky. That's all it could be doing. It's not trying to sit here and have a conversation with you. But you can upload a photo, and I did this recently. I had some travel to Turkey that I went to, the country, not the animal, and uploaded a photo, and it recognized it instantly.
Why would you travel to the animal? That's called hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you went to the grocery store and you went, I found turkey.
I found turkey. But yeah, I went to Turkey.
When he's cleaning it out, I'm in Turkey.
What we should do this year is buy a whole chicken and put it inside the turkey when we bake it. Pull it out. Yeah. I don't know if your kids will fall for that, but
I don't know.
But whereisthisphoto.com? Definitely check it out. And you don't have to upload a photo. You could probably put in. Well, hang on. Let's see what it says. Oh, they have premium services. So it looks like they do want you to upload a photo every single time for this. I thought you could put in like a URL to a photo, but you can't do that. And that's one thing y'all should consider when it comes to attribution concerns, is if you can ever link to a photo on the internet rather than uploading it to from your computer.
Yeah, because unless you go in there and mess with the metadata, then that new website has the information that you didn't want it to have.
Give you away instantly. Now, speaking about when things occur, right?
When time of day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Time of day.
SunCalc.
Time of day of week. SunCalc is excellent. You talk about SunCalc, Chris.
So SunCalc, you can put in a date, time. You can manipulate the sun on its own, but it'll tell you what the sun looked like in the sky at the point of that photo. And then from there, you can geolocate based on sun angles. I mean, specifically if they go, hey, here I am in Lima, at 10:30 or whatever. Then you can go see if the sun actually matches that picture angle and confirm or deny the time and location of something. And if you have other photos, you can confirm time based on the sun and all that stuff too. Like if you know specifically where it was taken.
It does have a very good interface for all of this. It has a time slider for when the sun appears over the earth, because the Earth is a globe, unlike what other people may think. And so it does affect the shadows and how the sun moves across the Earth.
Yep.
So you put in a time, and I think, can you select? I'm trying to see if you can select like your time zone. Oh, does it change whenever you move? Let me check it out. It does not change the time zone whenever I'm on the website right now, moving around. And if you guys ever wanted to, we could do a live stream of a lot of these just to do a quick OSINT investigation for everyone. It doesn't change the time zone. Where you can go here and you can put in the time and you can see where the sun was located at, and it will and I think it takes terrain into question as well.
It does.
So if I go over here, we live near the Appalachian Mountains in Virginia. I can go over here, zoom into an area, and it changes how the shadows appear over that area. And I make sound effects for all of the OSINT tools that I use. I have a different one for every single one.
He does that when he's training too. And it is it's alarming if you don't know what's coming.
And also finding when things happen. One of the search engines that's been around for years that has used AI, computational AI, for a very, very long time is Wolfram Alpha. I think Chris has like tried to jump the gun and said it like 3 different times now.
Perhaps. It's just so factual about everything. It doesn't dilly-dally in those wishy-washy anything. Like it goes, this is exactly what was going on at this date and time.
Yeah. And Wolfram Alpha is excellent for using natural language processing as well. So you can ask it a question and it attempts to understand what you're trying to ask it. I think you may have to upgrade to different tiers because it's have different tiers you can pay for to see more sources. But it's excellent for determining weather and looking that
or
up.
what was the weather on October 12th, 1976 in Charlottesville.
So rather than, going and buying your local farmer's almanac every single year to go back and look at the different patterns, you can go on there and say, what was the weather for the week of blah, blah, blah. And then you know that you have an event that was scheduled to occur sometime that week. And if it was raining in the photo and it was raining on one of those days, say, hey, I'm reasonably certain that it occurred on this day because it's raining here and the days, and it said that it was raining on this day during this time. It's a factual claim as well. It's not saying, hey, they anticipated rain. It's like there was rain that day. And Wolfram Alpha is very useful if there are any individual out there who like advanced calculus, all the maths. You can put in complex equations on there and it'll attempt to solve them for you as well. Wolfram Alpha. Now, any more geolocation tools that you use, Chris? Or tips or tricks?
Oh, I mean, if we're looking at a photo and there's no metadata because we used our XF extractors, is it?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Okay. Well, which one?
I don't know. You pick.
Okay. So if we're looking at the photo, and we're trying to locate it because we're just trying to figure out where that is, you want to look at landmarks. You want to look at streets, if you can see, street signs, any signs that help give you an idea of where you are. So you can determine it by language. You can figure it out by landmarks, that sort of thing.
Locating photos, one of the things I always love to look at is the vegetation around in the area, because there is a very noticeable difference between a deciduous tree in Europe and a deciduous tree in America. You can instantly make those out almost discernible.
You can.
Yeah. But when you start geolocating photos, and there are services out there that allow you to practice this
GeoGuessr
technique. Yeah. So GeoGuessr is now a fully paid service. I think they still have a free introductory time limit, but now you have to pay for it if you want continued access over time. There's another one called OpenGuessr.
If you want a really good guide on understanding locations, just type in GeoGuessr guide, and someone will give you a really in-depth thing about how to identify plants around the world, or street signs, or pavement marks, or something like that. Like, someone will have that guide out there for you.
Yes, and signs, even though a lot of the vehicle traffic signs are kind of universal all around the globe. The way that they're presented can tell you where they're located at as well. Like in my opinion, when I look at Europe and Africa, a lot of their signs are very, very similar. But when you look at North America and South America, their signs are very similar. But you can instantly tell what hemisphere you're in by the signs that are available. So, if you ever want to just practice those, GeoGuessr is a great one. And if you don't want to pay for it and you enjoy GeoGuessr a lot, there are plenty of live streams available where people go on there and just do it because they love doing it. There are people that have made a career out of it. There's this one guy who managed to just he was in the middle of a desert, y'all, on a dirt road with no unique identifying features other than a really crappy wooden fence with barbed wire on it. I mean, it looked like straight out of an old movie where like it hadn't been taken care of. And he goes like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this place before. This is located in Eastern Africa." And he clicks on it. He was within 200 meters of where it was located at just by
Jeez.
looking at a picture. And that's how often that individual plays that game, which is what I'm going to call it, GeoGuessr. He's seen all those images, and the best way to describe GeoGuessr is it goes on Google Street View. It takes a random location, puts you on there, puts you at that location, and you got to guess where you're at in the entire world on a world map. I do that in my free time when I'm bored when I'm not playing other video games. What else, Chris? Oh, we talked about exit data. Anything more about exit data that we need to discuss, cover, blah blah blah?
I don't think so. I mean, we talked about the metadata. Are we going to talk about how AI is jacking all this up?
We can definitely talk about that. Um, AI is a researcher's nightmare because before the request that you would get was, "Hey, confirm or deny existence of this event," or that
Yep.
it actually occurred at this date. Now it's confirm or deny existence of this event, and if it's
And
actually true or fake.
yes. Yeah.
So AI has really started to muddy the waters when it comes to a lot of different events that are occurring around the globe. For example, I just saw a video of it was a bunch of sticks being dumped out of bags, and it had a watermark. It I don't know what Asian language it was, but it
Mhm.
had those types of characters, either
Yeah.
Japanese or Chinese. And when the twigs fell on the ground, they were like undulating. They were moving around. And everybody's like, "Man, look at all those bugs that are in there. These are some type of stick bugs." And I had to go, and usually social media is very good at saying, "Hey, this is fake."
Yeah.
And that's one of the very first things I do whenever I'm looking at a video or an image where it's uploaded to a social media website. I'll scroll through the comments to see if anybody's already called out that it's fake or not.
Yeah.
And I'll try to confirm it that way and look at this person's history of going out and calling out untruths, as you will. And nobody on that post had said, "Hey, this is fake." And I'm like, dude, you can clearly see like these are a bunch of sticks and they're first poured out of the bags and they start moving around, and you can't you need and that's one thing that's true as well of a lot of AI creature photos, especially in the dark or around each other. You can't make out identifying features to reasonably say what it is. I've noticed that a lot for
Yeah.
a lot of things that happen like that. Yeah. What else, Chris?
Uh, I wa- I mean, one of my favorite things to do if I'm looking at a photo, and like you said, if it's on social media, is look at who posted it. Because, I mean, if they have different check-in locations, then, and then they're showing the picture of something that they're at, and they haven't mentioned any travel on their social media, then you can go, oh, okay, well, he's checked in, near Ankara a bunch of times. And this photo is probably from Ankara, and then you can dive in that way.
Yeah, that's a big thing as well. Seeing where their placement and access are located at.
Yep.
So if they keep saying they're in Ankara and all their photo and all their locations they check in at are in Mexico City, they're probably nowhere in Turkey right now, right? They're just taking photos and posting them there. Enhance. Enhance. Sorry, I'm actually looking at photos on Twitter right now. So, and I was zooming into them. Anything else, dude?
Nah, man. I think that's it on that one.
Talked about some geolocation services. Talked about metadata, coordinates. Another thing as well is added information from the social media service, and that's very useful as well. One of the things that Facebook, YouTube, I think a lot of social media companies do now is whenever you upload a photo or a video to it, it attempts to detect what's in the image. So if you upload a photo of a group of people, like 6 or 7, and they're standing outside of a fraternity at night, you can actually see on the metadata when you download it or view the element on the webpage, that text is included as well. It'll say group of people likely on a college campus at night. It'll say that, and then you can search by that as well. So let's say you're looking for, you knew a conference was happening, let's say for military equipment in Venezuela. You knew that that was happening there, so you can go on popular social media websites and just say military conferences in Venezuela, and not only will it pull up events, pages, people who may have posted about that, it'll search those photos now as well. That's very, very true of Facebook.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that's been a technique that's been around for a few years now, because I think Meta, well, at that time it was just Facebook, then became Meta. They started adding that in like 2014, 2013 to photos, so you could search by that.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's been up, man? How you been doing?
I've been doing all right. Busy. Halloween. Oh, Halloween was a blast, man.
Yeah. What'd you do?
So I give out candy every year, and I've been doing this, for a little bit.
Do you still get a lot of trick or treaters coming through?
No. Well, so I never had a lot. Like my first year at this house, handing out candy, maybe 5 kids. So I've been trying to just keep kids in the neighborhood, right? So I started giving out full-size candy bars. And then like 4 years ago, we started making apple cider, hot apple cider. And we're having that out in a crock pot to hand out to people. So we did that for like 2 years. And then we missed a year. I didn't put out any hot apple cider. And actually, at some point, this little girl, she's like, "Is this the house that normally has the apple cider?" And I was like,
That's
"Yeah." Nice. And she's like, "Where is it?" I was like, "I'm sorry we didn't make it this year, but take this bottle of water,
Google how to make it.
Yeah, so this year we had the apple cider again. And there were like 2 or 3 families in the neighborhood that are like, one of the reasons we keep our kids in this neighborhood is because we want to come here and get apple cider. So yesterday we had apple cider. I had the full-size candy bars and rubber duckies. Dude, the kids love the rubber duckies. I was like, "Yeah, you can get one of each." And they're like, "I can have a rubber ducky?" I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Oh, this is awesome." They were more excited about that than, a giant Twix.
Oh, you could have did the one year you did the Pokemon trading cards. Yeah, it's like those 3 ones. Yeah, that was great too.
Yeah,
I had that in my car forever. I didn't want to open it. I was just gonna leave it there.
yeah. So we try to give out a little toy or something, and they just get real excited about it. But yeah, we had like 3 families talk about how they stay in the neighborhood just to come get stuff from us, man. And that's cool. So we're keeping families in the neighborhood, dude.
I wish that we could have done that. Our very first year we did it. We left candy out because, again, our kids were younger, so they wanted to go trick-or-treating as well. So we left candy out at the bottom of the driveway. Came back, not a single piece was taken at all. So we're like, oh, obviously this neighborhood doesn't do that. And I've seen that posted a lot recently, especially on Reddit, about kids not coming around anymore in local neighborhoods for doing that. So, and now you have to walk a pretty good way sometimes between houses that actually want to do it if you're in your local neighborhood.
Yeah, I think there were more houses this year that did it than they have in years past, but I'm not sure. I didn't run around as much, but hearing some of the other people talk, they're like, "Yeah, there's a few more houses this year." So.
Yeah, we went to the trunk or treat over at the Commons, so that was really good walking around. I wore my Fall Guys costume.
Oh, nice!
I was a bean again this year. So, what'd you dress up for that for that. Did you dress up for the walk?
Not really. I had different plans, but what I ended up doing, because I brought my dog and I wasn't gonna bring him
Mm.
to begin with.
Just Sancho, right?
Yep. And we got a pumpkin thing to strap onto him. So I got that orange shirt that I bought for the Tennessee game, and I made that a jack-o'-lantern, so we matched, and that was it. So
Did you see? Cecilia or Carolyn while you were there?
yeah, I saw them right at the beginning. Caroline cried.
Did she tell you why?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It was funny. So my wife has she's been trying to get back into the gym, be a little bit more active. So I signed her up for this 6 miles. I totally forgot, and she says I did it on purpose. I totally forgot I wasn't going to be here because
Yeah.
I was traveling. So I signed myself up as well. But it was a 10K, and I signed my daughter and her and myself up for it. And when she got there, they said, "Hey, what event are you here for? Are you here for the 2 mile walk?" And Carolyn goes, "No, for the 10K." And the woman just looks her up and down and goes, "Sure, honey." And like she goes, "I'm going to show you." And I told Carolyn like it's so the normal speed for just walking for humans is 3 miles per hour, and a 10K is 6.2 miles, a little bit over, right? But
Yeah.
6.2 miles. So as long as you walk at a reasonable pace, you'll finish in under 2 hours, which was the maximum allowed time limit for that event.
Yeah.
And she finished in an hour and 40 minutes.
Nice.
So she killed it.
Good job.
Yeah. And if y'all
That was almost as long as it took me on the 2-mile walk
whatever
with the dog.
Yeah. Oh,
Dude, he was so excited.
I love the way that your dogs walk compared to mine because like they'll pull a little bit, but they aren't strong. So
I think it's disrespect to my dog.
well, they aren't. They're like, I mean, Sancho probably weighs maybe 40 pounds.
Yeah, but he's all muscle.
Have
Have you seen that dude jump? He is all muscle.
You're sitting there saying I haven't seen that dude jump. The very first time I saw him jump, he jumped in my lap and spilled water everywhere.
That's your fault.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I didn't know he's a little springboard going to jump off.
Yeah. No, he's got. Yeah, he's
It
definitely got
was
springs in his
surprising
leg.
too. It was surprising because he went abnormally high, like higher than I thought he would. Because my dogs, when they jump at me. He was like, "I'm going to plan my entire landing
Yes.
on the way down." I think he hit my cup on purpose.
No, yeah, he's targeted.
But my dogs, they don't. They're just so. They're so big now. Zeke weighs 130. I think we got him down a few pounds. He weighed 140 when we took him to the vet. Really concerned about that. And I think Iro finally has a dog profile again. You know,
Yeah,
going
that peanut.
going
peanut
slimmer. So he's finally got that dog profile. But even the vet says when he looks at him, he's like, "Oh, I think your dog weighs about 60 pounds." And they go to put him up on the scale, like, "Oh my god!" Right? He weighed 80 something when we put him up there.
My last vet laughed at me because like she's like, this is a perfectly healthy husky. You're a young husky, and then she just goes, "I'm sorry," and then she laughed, like because you got to keep up with this thing.
Yeah. But your dogs are much easier to walk. When I was walking them that day, they were just like trying to pull me everywhere, and I'm like, "This is so easy." Because Zeke and Iro, dude, like they pull me.
Well, you're used to walking 210 pounds of dog versus the 85-100 pounds I got at my house.
Yeah, and they're not polite either at all. Like my dogs aren't. They're just like, they only have two speeds. They walk and pull very hard, or run and pull very hard. That's the only two speeds they have. But I did, speaking of things that happen over Halloween.
Yeah, you had some travel recently,
yeah, I just returned from Turkey and then to an undisclosed country that I can't talk about it, but I won't talk about right now. But it was to Asia, where I got the opportunity to train some individuals in open source intelligence, dark web, and cryptocurrency.
That is exciting.
It was super fun. One of the things that happened while I was out there was at the very end, when we were all done, they were like, "Tim, come take your picture." I'm like, "No, I'm good." Right, because they wanted a big old group photo. And I said, "Take it with them." There were two individuals out there assisting me. So I was assisting them, excuse me.
Did you have to teach through a translator?
Oh, yeah.
That is complicated.
Yeah, so
I've only ever had to speak with a translator like 3 times, and that was hard enough.
So it was 20 for me. It was supposed to be 24 straight hours of content, but due to lack of availability for resources, because again, I was out there primarily teaching dark web. Some of the websites I wanted to use weren't up or weren't working, and that country specifically tries to deny some Tor connections.
Yes.
So it was kind of difficult. Well, I didn't get 24 straight hours of content, but yeah, talking for between 15 to 20 hours straight through an interpreter was kind of difficult. But a lot of the stuff, surprisingly, that I said got through, I was shocked because the cryptocurrency module, teaching cryptocurrency in general for a native language is hard.
Well, I mean, you tried to teach me, and we yelled at each other in the middle of an episode.
Oh yeah, we had to record that entire thing. I think I still have those saved somewhere. Hopefully, I didn't record over too much, but yeah, it was extremely difficult for some of those terms because when I started talking about one of the things you have to mention for a basis of cryptocurrency is understanding algorithms and cryptography, and like relaying that in a language where they haven't even thought of the words for those yet, which I
Yeah.
realized that was super difficult. Plus, some of them spoke. I think one individual spoke 5 different languages that I
Oh,
was
jeez.
teaching, and spoke English moderately well.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, like I was over there and he would ask questions and the interpreter would come over and try to translate and I'm just, dude, walk away. Like you're making this harder than it needs to be. I will break it down in caveman language if I
Yeah.
have to, like grunts. But it was pretty fun teaching them. And then on the way back I went to Turkey and I went to the Sultanahmet district, which is, if you don't know Sultanahmet, that is Constantinople.
Istanbul.
Yeah, yeah. It was fantastic. That's on the Europe side, and like as I've gotten older, coming to grips with immortality and how long you have left in this world. I was walking down the hill, and I looked over the river, and I realized that I was looking at the Middle East and Asia. I was like, "Holy crap! I'm looking at an entirely separate continent right now from Europe." That thought had never entered my mind before, and just thinking about all the things that had happened in the past at the specific site I was standing at, that was that was really really cool.
I mean, in what position would you have been in to have that thought before?
I'm just well, I mean, like
Have you ever
I've flown in
stood?
planes. I've flown in planes, dude. I looked down and been like, "Holy crap! I'm passing over 3 continents right now." But looking out and seeing like Asia over there, I'm standing in Europe, and I was next to a monolith that I was sitting here thinking about it from like
As in a person or an actual monolith?
it was a monolith.
Okay.
Yeah, that I was thinking about this monolith as I was standing next to it from like a perspective of a dude who really really wanted it. So there is a monument that was built in like 15th century BC. So
Yeah.
like 1500 BC in Egypt. Had been there for like almost 2000 years until somebody from the Ottoman ancestry
Mhm.
invaded Egypt, saw this monolith and was like, "You know what? That'd look good in my yard."
Yeah.
So, dude straight up took it from Egypt, brought it back to Turkey, placed it there, and has been there ever since. And that was like
Alright.
680. And I was just thinking about that, like that's that type of privileged personality.
Yeah, yeah, there's no way I would've "Hey, you know the best thing? Give me that computer tower, dude.
Yeah,
That's mine."
just
Yeah,
just
that'd be
that,
the same thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that would look really good on my nightstand.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna use it. Like
But yeah, I was just thinking about that. Somebody just oh god, I forgot the emperor that did it, the invader of Egypt that did it. But it was sitting there for 2000 years until that dude was like, "I'm gonna take that with me. That would look good in my backyard." And I got to see the Blue Mosque, the Hagia Sophia. I got to see. I didn't see the castle. I didn't walk straight into it because, dude, there's so many tourists there. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna find a really cool Turkish souvenir to bring back home.
was Turkish delight.
Uh,
Uh,
I
uh,
can't.
uh.
They're made with ingredients that you have to declare when you bring back through. So I was like, you might as. And that's another thing too. Every single shop that I went to, it wasn't like things that were made locally there, or you know, things that you would probably have intrinsic value years from now. They were all souvenir crap. Everywhere I went, like I went to the Grand Bazaar, the Grand Souk, right?
Yeah.
And I was walking through. Every 3 shops was the exact same setup for the shop. It was like I was seeing the same Walmart every
Yeah.
few stops, and I just thinking about reading about all these explorers that went over there and talking about it and accounts of Constantinople, this entire area for hundreds of
Istanbul.
years. Yeah. Hundreds of years. I'm gonna keep calling it Constantinople just so you keep correcting me.
Istanbul.
Yeah, but it is Istanbul, but Constantinople
Constantinople?
was the
Istanbul.
yeah. But it was just thinking about how it's changed over the years. It's both kind of depressing, but at least I got to experience it, which is pretty cool. I stayed in a hotel that was advertised as 4-star.
No stars?
Uh,
2 stars.
I would say 2 stars.
Alright.
It had a breakfast that
Did
you
it-
could eat.
A bed?
Bed, bathroom,
Were
outdoor
there-
terrace.
Were there like animals or insects in the room?
Animals, yes.
What-
Cats.
You
Cats were
cats
everywhere.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you can't blame them for that.
Yeah, cats were everywhere over there. It was funny. I would see cats from noon until about 9 at night, and then the dogs would come out and the cats would disappear. Like, I'm not straight to disappear, but they would go to areas elsewhere, and then the dogs would come out.
I went to a hotel in Texas, and like I was driving cross country, and I just happened to be in Texas. It was about that time. Parked my car, and I was like, "Hey, let me get a room." He goes, "Yeah, I'm just gonna warn you, we had a very small cricket problem, so you might see 1 or 2 in your room." I was like, "All right, cool, yeah, that's not a problem." So I go, and I open the door, and there's just crickets everywhere. It just everywhere, and I kind of walked in, and I was just like, "All right, maybe I could stay here." And then they started flying across the room, and I was just like, "No." So I walk out, and I was like, "Hey, man, if you got nothing else, I'm just gonna leave." He goes, "Oh yeah, let me put you on the 2nd floor." Puts me on the 2nd floor, not a single cricket. I was like, "Why would you not just give me this room first?" Like, why would you knew this was covered in crickets, and you could have just given me a clean room, and you're like, "No."
Could have been like you're on a savanna in Africa, and like you get your mandatory issued mosquito net when
Yeah,
you walk into
yeah.
your room. Like, hey, we can't stop them, but at least we're going to help you out. We're going to put up a net around your bed at night.
Exactly.
But no, like when I say animals in my room, cats, it was only one cat. It had jumped down, walked inside, saw me, and went straight back out. And they're super friendly. Like all the cats there are just awesome. You go over and
Yeah.
pet them, and they'll hop up in your lap. The restaurant owners hate them though, because
Fair,
they'll just
fair.
walk right in.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is mine. I will take this.
But I went back through Cairo and I took a picture of the pyramids from overhead.
Is it not surprising how close the city is to the pyramids every time you see it versus like when you see like the pyramids on TV?
Dude, I got to be honest. If I wasn't expecting to see pyramids, I probably wouldn't have known they were a site of historical significance. They were covered in floodlights. I mean,
Yeah,
it
they're in the
was-
middle of downtown.
Yeah.
Like they're right there.
They're
They're not far
when I
off from
looked-
the main city.
Yeah, I didn't have time because I had a very quick layover while I was there. And I didn't have time to look out the windows at the airport because I didn't stay in the city. It was a
Yeah.
very quick transition. But I did see them overhead, and it was probably maybe 2 kilometers away from
Yeah.
the pyramids where the actual like big part
Yeah,
built up area of the city started. But yeah, I saw the dichotomy that is man, where it's like, hey, here's a picture of the pyramids. You can just see desert behind you, and then you back up 3 kilometers. You can take it from a balcony in the city, and you can just
Yeah.
see the pyramids over
Yeah.
there. I was just shocked how they were lit up at night. I was like, holy crap, the floodlights were going straight up, and you could see the pyramids from overhead. So I
Yeah.
got a really nice, well, from the airplane, it was a pretty nice photo.
In 2008, I had the fortunate opportunity to look at imagery of Cairo, and I was just like, "Holy crap, they're like right here."
Yeah.
And I didn't know that till then, but now like I've seen it in other ways. So,
Yeah. So, because when you watch The Mummy, that's not how it is.
yeah. No, they go a long way to get out there.
Yeah, like they're going to Hamanatra, but when you look at them in Cairo, like the pyramids seem to be far out there when you're watching it, but in real life, like you can go out your room, walk 15 minutes, and you're right there at the pyramids.
Yeah.
Insane. But anyways, guys, if you managed to hang on this long and listen to Chris and I ramble for a while, it's been a while since we caught up. Thanks for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want to. Comment below for any additional content. And this was Chris and Tim.
Tim and Chris.
on the OSINT Output.